Hello and welcome to The Renew View. I'm your host, Jewel Peterson, and this is the show where you get the inside scoop on this awesome word that we're getting here at Renew Worship Center.
Awesome.
Yes, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. And ladies, aren't you glad to be here?
We're glad to be here.
Great. Happy to be here.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yes.
And what's the New Year's service was? I mean, New Year's service was really, really great.
Oh, it was
awesome.
Audacity of Hope.
Audacity of Hope.
So good.
Yeah, and I think the title of this one, the title of New Year's Eve service was Casting Off of 2015. And I wanted Pastor doing the rhyme so bad. I even gave her suggestions.
Right.
Like, in between 2015, let's rhyme. No, but it was Casting Off of 2015. I'm like, hey, that'll work. I take that. But when she talked about what casting off meant, I'm like, yes, ma'am. That's what's it. 2015. But many people don't casting off as far as casting off worry, casting off your troubles, casting off sin, and it means that and something else about it's being casting off from a place. And so it's not enough to leave that stuff behind, but where are you adding to your life? Where are you going? And that really blessed me right there. So casting off 2015. All right, Pastor, you was on it.
And then not only that, when we cast off, which means we're leaving the dark, we're casting off to a destination. So then, therefore, there is hope at this destination. You know, I think she referred to Christopher Columbus. He had hope that he's finna find something. But he's not just leaving for nothing. He's finna find something, you know. So, and not only that, but casting off, like you said, casting off, you know, the worry and putting on our faith, putting on, you know, different things in our life. Because that's what we have to do as Christians, as saints. We have to do that so that we won't become frustrated in doing well.
That's true. That's true. That's right. And I think she, in the whole message too, is about, because she continued the same message on this particular Sunday's message about the 4 watches. And right now we end up in like the 4th watch where now it's called, you know, it's the darkest hour before morning. It's called morning. But the darkest before the sun comes, and saying how sometimes in our lives and different trials, it always seems like, you know, you're point with hopelessness encounters, and you have different trials and different circumstances where it seems like no fruit we brought in the situation. Nothing's gonna happen.
Now, when you say the darkest before the dawn, first thing I think about is that a scary movie.
What scary movie you watching?
Well, I know everybody don't watch a scary movie in their life. Either it's the vampires or something. And you have to make it until the daylight comes. Because when the light comes, everything else fades away. But within that moment, it takes forever. It's like you hiding, you running, you trying to get this together and that together. All until the sun comes up. So yes, it is sometimes darkest before the dawn, but knowing that dawn is coming gives you the strength, gives you the hope to keep going, which is awesome.
That's exactly it, because, you know, when Pastor was talking about just that darkness before the dawn, it's the situations in our life that are literally so hard. You know, it's so hard. We're waiting, we're hoping for that moment of deliverance, that moment where whatever it is, whatever that seed of faith we put in the ground actually comes up. And Pastor was talking about that. I thought this was so awesome when she talked about that seed being put in the ground. That the earth itself has everything that's needed to strip away layer by layer by layer.
And not only that, the ground itself is cursed. For the word's sake. For the word's sake.
And so that seed can come up. I mean, it's awesome.
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
I guess we missed the purposes of trial and tribulation. She went back even to, I think, Matthew about that, how the trial and tribulation come for the word's sake. So you think he's trying to destroy you. No, it's not trying to destroy you. He's trying to produce life out of the word that you receive. That's paramount.
She was saying that, you know, sometimes we think that there's going to be a problem and then a solution. No, there's a problem, there is a trial, there is a test, and then through that there comes the solution. God brings us
and you know, one thing that stuck out to me the most, and it's basically what everybody is saying, just knowing for a fact that if you are in a situation that seems to where there is no hope, where you have that seed, that apple seed that has been put into the ground, which is cursed for it to die, simply to bring forth life. So the life or the hope that you're looking for, or that job, or that new car, or that or you going back to school to get your degree, that is coming out, but it's not coming. It's not coming out just boom, bam, there it is. No, it's not. It's a process. It's a process. It's a dying process
process.
to produce life. And one thing that I did want to say, I don't know how many of y'all have had babies, but when you have a child, you are very close to death.
Yeah.
You do understand? Do you understand how close you are to death? You're in the hospital, all these things are going on, you know, and when you're birthing something, it's a chance that something may happen. During that time, there are labor pains. You understand what I'm saying? There are labor pains in order for that life to come out, and that's that hope. In order for you not to lose hope, don't lose hope in a situation when you know for a fact that you're going through a trying process or this is a dying process for you. Just know that hope is coming.
Yes.
It's the darkest before the what?
Dawn.
All right. That's what I'm talking about.
Sierra trying to preach. Pastor did it better.
I'm just excited. I can't help it. I'm excited about the word and the fact that the word went out and it gave so much life, you know, to the people who were blind to see that life is there.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, you're walking around with rubies thinking that they're stones.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that word itself just brought forth so much life into that word. And I just dare not say anything as far as anybody that's watching that feels that they're going through a process or that their hope is lost. No, your hope is in that seed that's in the ground that's dying. You know what I'm saying? And God has given you the strength to go through this process because it's built in you.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
And even she was saying, you know, don't give up on that seed. Don't abort it.
Yes.
It's in that ground. Looks like it's dying.
Yes.
But don't keep hope. Keep that hope.
Yes.
Because it's going to spring forth.
Yeah.
And in that it'll be a tree of life.
Yeah, that's what
Sometimes we can
Yeah.
waste time. We can waste time. We can waste time, like she said, and end up aborting that seed.
Yeah.
Simply because we look at it and say,
That's not gonna happen.
That's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I don't know why I applied for that job anyway. I don't know why I turned around.
It's the waiting.
Yeah.
It's the waiting that
is
makes
the
us
waiting.
think that.
Yeah.
And that's so important for us to grasp. It's the waiting, the
Yeah.
fact that God has said something, that He's promised something. If it's healing, if it's a house, if it's a job, if it's a this or that. It's the wait that causes us to say, this just looks like it's not going to happen, that this is dying, that my dream is dying or going away. But God is just calling us, and this is awesome that Pastor's saying, it's the audacity, it's that audacity to hope against what looks like it's nothing.
Yes.
To keep that faith alive, that something is going to come out of this, that whatever God said, it has the power in it to come up and be exactly
Now
what
see,
He
now
said.
You know
that's
what?
she preaching. That's she
Yes. But you know what? They go all the way back to, and we ain't even discussed it yet.
What?
How Jesus walked on the water.
Oh,
All right. I know I don't went ahead. I'm just saying.
It started with Moses, right?
Yeah.
It started with Moses. She said it started with Moses. What happened with Moses?
The whole thing was because again you faced the children of Israel faced a hopeless situation at the Red Sea.
Yeah.
And you have now, you know, the multitude standing in the Red Sea thinking all hope was lost. And you have Jesus now coming to the New Testament.
In Mark.
You know, in Mark, and you have multitude facing this, you know, facing a sea again.
Right.
But not facing a sea in fear because you see Jesus standing on top of the sea right now. Like at first, girl, thank you. Because she's trying to take it from me. Can I get it back?
You got this.
Listen, viewers. No, seriously. But not in a position of fear anymore. Because you see someone now standing on top of a thing that you once feared. But in the Old Testament, you know, Christ made a way through the sea, and you have now God's revealing that Jesus Christ was that way that was made.
Yeah.
And now you see he crossed over this sea. And what is the account when he crossed over this sea? You see a demon-possessed man.
But wait right there. We gotta talk about this sea.
Okay.
The sea represents humanity.
That's
right.
Humanity, our feelings, our emotions.
Yeah.
You know, how we feel as humans,
Yeah.
as human beings wrapped up in this.
Right.
Our feelings.
Yeah.
You know, the waves.
Yeah, and Satan causes the
Wind
wind
to blow.
to push our humanity
Yes.
in this way.
Yeah. Yes.
Cause this problem and our emotions in
Yes.
this problem. That.
But then God can speak to that issue and say, peace be still. And then turn around when the people were facing when the people were facing Jesus in the boat on the sea, that's actually Jesus saying, your opposition is under my foot.
Wow.
Like, I am under, I got this. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And not only that he was on top of the opposition, sleeping.
Yeah. Like, what is this? I got it.
It was a ruckus, but
Wow.
he was sleeping.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like he's giving us the example in the midst of your trouble, in the midst of your weight, in the midst of the pushing of all of these things happening in your life. Just stay calm in the boat. You can rest in me. You can rest.
And one reason why is because we are a what type of being? We are a three-part being. We're a three-part being, okay?
Yes.
So when those other two beings, our mind and our soul is acting up, our spirit man can rise up.
Right.
And say, you know what?
Awaken.
Peace be still.
That's right.
Peace be still.
It's such a good word, and I think what I love about it is it's such good news. It's great news, and I think this is great news that the whole world needs, and that's why we're always talking to you about the importance of coming here to Renew, so you can get good news about your situation.
Yes,
and I know for me, you know, I keep saying, where would I be? Where would I be if I had not been here in this season of my life? And I know I will be here for seasons after season after season after season, but even in this season, you know, and I'm always, you know, I'm continuing with the journey and believing God for healing my back, my sciatica and the scoliosis. And I remember when I was in the doctor's office and he was saying, well, you know, you've got this situation that's happening on the left side, which I already know is manifested, but are you having a situation happen on your right side? Because I can see on the MRI that you should be having the same situation happening on your right side. And so everything that he was saying was the worst news I could hear. And so learning this word and hearing, okay, this is Jesus demonstrating, this is how you act, this is how you think, this is how, this is what you do in the midst of the storm. This is how you should be thinking. And to know we have a Savior who you said is in control and you belong to me, and rest in it. You can rest in your struggles, you can rest in your pain, you can rest in the bad news in him. That's how you can sleep at night. That's how you can get through your storm, is by finding comfort and resting even in that hard place. And so it's such an encouraging word when it is literally, as Pastor says, dragging on, because everything in you wants to give up. Everything in you is like, I'm not going to be healed. You know, it doesn't matter. Why should I go forward? I can't get my going out of my mind. I'm going crazy. I need to take this medicine. I need to do this. You know, it's a constant 24-hour battle. And so to have this reassurance that, you know what? There's good news. You're in a good place. To know you're in a good place.
Darkness before the dawn.
In the darkness before
It's
the dawn.
coming.
And something is going to be produced out of you. And as Pastor said, you being used. You could not be used. And that's when I was like, oh, let me try to snap out of it, because to not be with God and not be used would be the worst. So just the going through and knowing that God says you belong to me. So it's great. It's awesome news.
You were talking about that, and it reminded me of what Pastor was saying when she was talking about the once they crossed over the water, they saw this guy with the legions, right? And how, you know, you're saying the darkness before the dawn, this and being used of God. This guy, you know, she was talking about this guy being totally demon possessed. And God cast out his demons. They went into a pig, and then they went into the sea, the very sea that he walked on. And then this very man became the very person to proclaim the gospel. Remember that? She was saying that he wanted to just follow Jesus. But it's like, with what you were saying, it's the same thing. It's like whatever we're going through, it's like God is saying, you're not just going through this. Whatever you're going through, I'm going to separate the clean and the unclean, and then I'm going to use your life to declare the goodness of God. The gospel is then going to be preached, not just because you read it, you have lived it. You know, and this guy, we remember this guy. He didn't even ask for Jesus to heal him.
No, he didn't.
He was in a place where he could not ask.
No,
he could not ask, because he was just that possessed. Sometimes you can be so bound until you don't even know how to come out of this situation.
Well, Jesus has to come to you.
And it is not so much as you don't know it. It's that you don't know how to come out. You don't know how to speak out. You don't know whether to move right or move left. And actually there's an entity that is causing you to move this way and that way. And you really need to move straight. You understand? It's where you can't even walk a straight line per se. That's how stressed out or oppressed or depressed or possessed that you are. You know, and knowing that we have a God who is all able, who is all willing, who knows the heart of man, who can say, you know what, be clean. You know?
And we know Christians can be possessed, but even just the struggle, the oppression, like you're saying, not knowing how, as you're talking about your back, it's that reliance on God and the hope that He's going to bring.
You know, the scripture talks about the chains. That's only physical. For you to break free physically and still be tormented internally, you can imagine what that's like to be internally bound to where there's nothing to hold you, there's nothing you know that's going to help you until someone comes along and says get out. You know what I mean? That was, I was like, oh, okay. Okay, Jesus.
That's reality. Just like I said, it's people that are bound, that are bound in so many different ways. They're bound by the spirit of poverty. Nobody is holding them down, saying that you cannot make it. But this is what's internally in them, that they cannot make it. They cannot proceed forth. You know, a certain type of mindset that some people have, you know, it's very hard for them to overcome it. But at the same time, Jesus can step in and see the heart of a man, and their heart meets that condition, even though they can't proceed out of their mouth. They turn around and God says, get out, be clean. That's one reason why I say that it's so important to be in a church home where you are surrounded by people who love God genuinely. Because the hearts of people, you know, they don't lie. Your heart is your heart. And what I can say about Renew is that there are times when each sister, or me personally, where I have felt a certain type of way, or felt down, or felt out, or felt like, you know what, I done gave it my best, y'all. I can't really do this. I'm through. And where my sisters can come along and say, you know what, come on, you know, give me that encouragement, because sometimes you need that. And, you know, with a lot of people, I would say, when you surround yourself around people who have a certain mindset, then all of a sudden you'll either start having that mindset, or if you do have that mindset, how can you break free around people who is the same way you are? You're like, what we gonna do? That ain't gonna work.
You know, and just in saying that, you know, Pastor was saying that the way through this time, you were talking about the Red Sea experience, and each of us have something we've been bound in, you know, but that our Red Sea experience, escaping our Egypts and coming through, now it's Christ. He is showing us now that this is the mark, the New Testament experience for us now is the way through humanity, or the way through our problem is through Him.
Wow.
He's it.
That's a great word.
And what I wanted to say was, Sierra, I'm sorry, I want to say something.
The message was on fire. She's on fire. The church was on fire.
Jesus Himself can use humanity to fight or to kill the enemy.
Step
you know,
on it.
I mean, when you look at Jesus, which is, we have the Spirit of Christ inside of us, and you see that He was on top of the water. I didn't see the water on top of Jesus.
That's right.
The water was underneath Jesus, and He was in the boat. One time He was asleep. You see what I'm saying? So you mean to tell me I can have peace in opposition? I can be okay with this, and it's gonna be fine. We can ride it out for real. You see what I'm saying? And that's awesome. That's awesome, because in this day and time, you can feel the wind blowing you in this direction or in this direction, or you may feel a certain way about God telling you to move this way. You feel like, oh, I don't know, I'm not really sure, so you're walking on eggshells here and there, but we should move, because we have the Spirit of Christ inside of us. So we are not just moving on our own, we're walking on top of opposition. You see what I'm saying? That's awesome.
Amen.
That's awesome. I'm telling you.
And she's done.
Sierra, honey, yes.
This has been
awesome. I have really enjoyed sitting here and discussing this with you all, because even before we were taping, in my spirit, I was not feeling like I should have been. I had not chosen to say, okay, I'm going to have hope, even though, we've been talking about this. And so even talking about hope makes you hopeful. Opens your eyes to the things of God. Because I was thinking, like, I could have had it on both sides based on what he said. I could have been having the same pain shooting down both sides of my legs. And so I thank God that it's just that side. If that's this side, that right side could be dormant, then that left side.
Wow. Amen. In the name of Jesus.
That's that faith rise.
Yes. So with that, we thank you all for watching. You know that you can join us again next week the same time. You've been watching The Renewed View.
Bye.